Xbox has been bragging about this partnership with Nintendo that will initially ensure that Activision Blizzard games like Call of Duty will come to Nintendo consoles for the next 10 years. Which, Call of Duty's cool and everything, but dear Phil Spencer, I know you're watching. Let's talk about the 5 Xbox games that I'd like to see come to the Nintendo Switch.
Are you listening?
Hey, welcome back, friends. For today's show, we are clearly talking about some of the Xbox exclusives that I think would just totally rock on Nintendo Switch or whatever the future Nintendo console will be. So while we jump straight into the first game, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. All right, our first game we have is kind of a no-brainer for the Nintendo console, and it's Sea of Thieves. In fact, one of my very first videos on this channel was me discussing how awesome a game like this would be on the Nintendo Switch. And this is where I try not to be too much like of a video game romantic, because Sea of Thieves was developed by Rare, who is obviously responsible for some of the greatest games of my childhood, of which I primarily played on Nintendo consoles. So for Rare to bring Sea of Thieves to the Nintendo Switch, it just feels like a perfect homecoming. And Sea of Thieves is one of those games that I think would just take the Nintendo Switch to the next level. And in many ways, it looks like your traditional Switch style of game. Plus, when you look at like the average Nintendo player, they would instantly embrace this game on the console. All right, next up, we have a Xbox exclusive that's not made by Xbox, but of course, we've got to talk about Gunk. And if you've never seen this game before, Gunk is an action-adventure game from Image and Form and the team over at the Thunderful Group. You play as this space hauler in search of valuable resources, and your main tool is this power glove that allows you to reverse the corruption and heal the planet. All right, so moving on to the next one, and I will be the first to admit, those first two were kind of soft pitches. The next couple are going to be definitely reaching here. Let's talk about Microsoft Flight Simulator. I told you I was going to be reaching. Now, obviously, the current Nintendo hardware could not handle a game of this caliber, and I've got my doubts that the next-gen Nintendo console could, but a game like Microsoft Flight Simulator running on Nintendo would have to be done with cloud gaming. And seeing that cloud gaming is how Xbox One players are playing this game in a Nintendo environment, I mean, it's definitely doable. And definitely a reach, but 100% doable. I mean, could you imagine how dope it would be to play this game on the Nintendo Switch? Being able to fly various routes and explore the world just playing this game on the Switch would be such an incredible experience. Again, Phil Spencer, I know you're watching, and you know this would be sick. You know this would be sick. And if you're not Phil Spencer, well, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about the first 3. And if I haven't mentioned your game yet, put it in the comment section and we'll see if I can predict it in the next 2. All right, moving on to our 4th game. Admittedly, this one is 1000% because I am just selfish. Hellblade 2. Now, yes, this game is not out yet, but I played the first Hellblade game on the Switch, and I genuinely loved it so much. I played it on PlayStation, loved it there, and with the second one coming out, I just want as many players as possible to be able to experience how genuinely fantastic the Hellblade series is. However, kind of echoing what we talked about with Microsoft Simulator, if Hellblade 2 were to like run on the Nintendo Switch, I'm pretty sure it would just like combust, because recently developers shared like these next-gen lifelike graphics that I genuinely can't express how excited I am for. But with that in mind, just like Microsoft Flight Simulator, if Hellblade 2 did come to the Nintendo Switch, that game would 100% have to run via the cloud. All right, our final game, we have the Fable series. Yeah, you probably thought I was going to say Halo. Now, clearly the brand new Fable game isn't out yet, but the other Fable games would be great additions to the Nintendo library, and chances are they probably could run natively on the current Switch hardware. But overall, I mean, these games are fun, and to this day, they still hold up. And realistically, the gameplay cycle of Fable would fit so well in the Nintendo ecosystem. And eventually, when the new Fable game does release in 2086, bring it to Nintendo as well. Now look, in all seriousness, all 5 of these games coming to the Switch are probably pretty slim. However, a more likely scenario that would solve this issue would be Xbox Game Pass coming to the Nintendo Switch. Instantly, over 300 games would be added to the Nintendo Switch via cloud functionality, and at that point, Nintendo would probably just be printing money because they would get a cut of every single Game Pass subscription, making it a win-win for all parties. But enough from me, what do you all think? Did you agree with my lineup? Was there a game out there that I didn't mention that you would like to see? Please let me know in the comment section down below.